welcome back to my channel. As you know, my name is Ola, and on this channel, I talk about tips on how to study abroad. And like the beginning of this year, we started with the study in Italy video, and majority of you were like, you wanted to hear more about the visa process. So today, I brought another YouTuber to come talk to you about the visa process. And don't worry, I'm also going to pop a channel on the screen, so in case you want to go to our channel and check it out, please feel free to do so. But I'm also going to give her a minute to introduce herself. So over to you, Ma.
Okay, hi guys. My name is Comfort Oladayo Adegbenu, and I'm a master's student, first year, going to my second year, studying at the University of Padua. I'm pursuing a master's in sustainable agriculture. I had something relating to this in Nigeria, and this is my second master's. I had my first master's in the UK in biotechnology. And what else? I'm a writer and I'm a YouTuber. I just started. Yeah, so I think that's basically it for now. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. And I don't know, I know we said we were going to talk about visa, but like the little information you just shared with us, like I want to ask like few questions from those. I know you said you did like something related to agric in Nigeria, right?
Yeah.
What university did you finish from?
Landmark University.
Where is Landmark again?
Umaru, Kwara State.
Oh, okay. Funny thing, I served in Kwara. So yeah, I remember Landmark. Yeah, I remember. I just skipped my mind. Oh my God, it skipped my mind. Yeah, I remember. And you said you went to the UK for biotechnology. And then you are doing something related to what you did in undergrad now again.
Yeah, definitely.
So you see, like, I told you guys that when I people to the channel, like I always bring gold, like real and pure gold. So you can see. So yeah, we'll jump right into it. I know like somebody came earlier to talk about like the whole admission process, like how you can do it. And I know majority of like my subscribers had like questions about like the visa process. So I don't know, maybe you can just, walk us through, how to apply for visa. Like now that people have gotten admission, how can they, start the process to, how can they start processing for their visa? Because I feel like that is also like another important thing aside from admission.
Yeah. Okay, let me just like give a disclaimer. I did not apply for my visa from Nigeria, but I would still like provide the information that I know, because I was in the UK when I came down to Italy. So I applied for my visa from the UK. So I might not have like exact details about the Nigeria stuff, but I had like an interview with someone. The video is also on my channel, so you could like also check it out. So I would say that the first thing you should check if you're applying for visa, go to the website first, the Italian website. That's, even if you want to apply for any visa, that's like the first place you should go to get information. Then aside from that, the third party organization that is involved with the visa processing for Italy and some European countries from Nigeria is known as the TLS Contact. I'm sure Ola will put the link in the description box so you guys can check. So basically you need some documents, and before you like prepare your documents, there's something called pre-enrollment that you need to do from a website known as Universitali. Yeah, so it's more of like the pre-enrollment. You fill in your course details. It is similar to the I-20 for the US and the CAS document when you're traveling to UK. Yeah, something like that. So in the I think it's more similar to I-20, since it contains like some visa information and all of that. So in the pre-enrollment, you have to fill in where you want to do your visa, like where you would like to have your visa appointment. So if it is Abuja or Lagos, you have to put that in. And I think maybe there's a way to change it, but you have to contact your university if there's a mistake, or if you think you want to change it later on. So after your pre-enrollment, you need like some documents. So I would assume that you guys are aware of the legalization and the authentication, blah, 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 that you need to do. Because before you go for your appointment, you need to legalize your academic documents, that's your certificates, your transcripts, and your birth certificates, also in Abuja. So you get to do that in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Ministry of Education, in Nigeria, in Abuja. So those legalized documents, after you've legalized your documents, you get something called the DOV. You authenticate them first in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Ministry of Education, and you legalize in the Italian embassy or the Italian consulates in Nigeria, either in Lagos or Abuja. And I think that also depends on where you have lived most of your life and where you schooled. So I think those in the southwest have to go to Lagos, maybe those in the north, Abuja or something. I'm not really too sure about that, but I think some of these details are actually on the website. Yeah, so you can find this information. So after you've legalized, you get something called the DOV, which is like Declaration of Value. It's like an equivalent to your certificate and I think your transcript from Nigeria. So it's recognized by Italian universities, and you would have to still submit this on your portal later on to complete your enrollment in school. But since you're talking about visa, you get all of these documents, and they're, like I said, on the TLS contact website and Italian websites, you have a list of documents that they expect from you. So depending on what you're doing, if you're an exchange student, that like you have lists of documents you need to present. If you're just like a bachelor student, you have lists of documents you need to present. If you're like master student or PhD, you have all of those things. So it could be a bit different and specific to individuals based on your level of study and like maybe your program or whatever. And another thing I would mention at this point is it could also differ based on how you are sponsoring yourself. So if you are going as a self-sponsored student, you definitely will need to provide proof of fund and like some tax clearance, because proof of fund should be like from your business, or even if it's like an employment, you should get the tax clearance or maybe tax ID from your employer or something. I'm not really too sure because I didn't go through this process during my time. So, but if you're on a scholarship, I think you are just good to go. You just need to provide the scholarship letter and all of that, like to the embassy. And I think it's a little bit easier for scholars, and it might also depend on the value of your scholarship, because if the value is not enough, I think there's an amount that is required, just like the way the high 20 also looks like. You have to maybe the expenses and how much you have, it needs to like balance or something. So that's why some persons might have their like visas rejected, talking about the self-sponsored students now. So if maybe your scholarship is not fully funded, you might still need to like make some you need to show like maybe a statement of account, how you want to like support yourself and all of that. So that's that about the proof of funding. The other general documents that you'll be needing, aside from your academic documents, you need health and travel insurance. Yeah, so like when I was leaving from UK to Italy, we make use of VFS Global instead of TLS Contact from UK. So it wasn't TLS Contact I used. So on the website, they directed me to a third-party organization actually for the insurance. So for Nigeria, I'm not too sure of all the health insurance companies, but it was mentioned in the video I talked about. So you can like check that. And another thing you also need to do is hotel reservation. It would be perfect for you if you have the school accommodation. You don't have to even stress yourself. So you have the contract. But if you don't, some people also do I think something called hospitality also, whereby maybe you have like a relative living in Italy, then they give you like that letter or so saying that maybe they will accommodate you. And it would only make sense if maybe they are staying around where you are living, because you can't go and drop address of somewhere that is like 5 hours, 2 hours, 3 hours far away from your campus. There's no way you want to convince them that you are going to study, right? So you have to like also consider that. And another option is if you don't have any relative, then you have to make like reservation. The popular websites that you could get that done is booking.com, and I think maybe Airbnb too, but I really don't know much about Airbnb. I didn't have to do that because I got the hostel accommodation before I came. So I just submitted the contract as part of my documents. Yeah, so when you go to booking.com, just look, you have to know the address of your campus and where it's located. Then, look for somewhere that is close by, calculate the kilometer. It shouldn't be more than 10 kilometers or so thereabouts, and somewhere that is making sense. and you don't have to pay. You can do something called free cancellation. Yeah. So in case you feel like it's too expensive or you changed your mind, you don't want to stay there, or maybe you were able to like secure an appropriate accommodation so you won't lose your money. And another document you'll be needing is I think, yeah, not I think, flights reservation. So I think from Nigeria, you have to do going and coming. You have to do the return ticket stuff. But I didn't do that when I was in the UK. It was just a flight to go. They did not ask me to book flights to come back or something. So you have some platforms too that allow you to book or reserve flights without paying. Sometimes you might pay, because I remember when I was booking from the UK, I used KLM, and to secure the flight for about 72 hours or so, I needed to pay like a small amount of money. But I really don't know much about if they charge in Nigeria. But the person I interviewed mentioned like some places or website that you can make use of to make the reservation for your flight. And I'm thinking what else you would be needing. I mentioned the academic documents, your flight reservation, hotel reservation, your tax clearance if you are doing the proof of funds. So yeah, if you are doing the proof of fund, like if you're not on scholarship, I think whoever your sponsor is, if they're your parents, they need to like provide a bank statement of like 6 months. Yes, and in addition to that, they also need to write like a reference letter of some sort. Yes, and if you'll be providing the proof of fund on the website, they would tell you on the document, the list of documents provided on the website for application of visa. They will tell you that you need to provide for a particular amount per year. So you might want to consider that if you are spending 2 years for your course, I'm talking about those doing masters now. So you have to multiply that by 2 years. Then the equivalent in Naira should be what you would be providing as a proof of fund. And definitely you have to pray, because it's the embassy. Even if you provide more than enough, you have people who provide more than that and they still get rejected. We don't really know why. And by the time they reject you, they won't tell you the real reason. They'll just tell you that based on their rules and laws, blah blah blah, this, that. And some people might not even provide up to that, and they still like get the visa. So just like make your findings, make sure that everything is like intact, and you won't be there to even defend yourself. It's not like the US where you have like an interview and they ask you questions. This one, your document is just there, and it's only God that is following it. So,
Only God that is
so,
defending you.
so it's only God that is following you and following the documents, and just God's favor and all of that. I think that's like basically the rundown of the things you need to like show when applying.
Yeah, I think everything was detailed, because even the questions I had in my mind that was
Okay.
being asked, like you already answered.
Oh,
And I
sorry,
was
I talk
like,
too
okay,
much.
no, that's good. I'm like, nice, fine, lot of details. And I think another
Yeah.
question I would want to ask is, like, I know we
Okay.
you ended on the note that, like people should pray. And I'm curious, like how, like on a scale of like 1 to 10, how easy would you say it is to get the Italy visa? Like, of course, when they have all the documents, but like I'm talking of like approval rates.
Like I said, I applied from the UK. It was quite easy for
Mhm.
me. I even thought I got a rejection because it came very fast. Within, I think, 3 days or so that I applied, I got like the visa approved already. So, because I think I'm on a Nigerian group, people get their visas, and it's more of like just it's average, I would say, in a way. But we have people who have gotten the visa actually. And the thing is, if they give you a pre-rejection, that's not the end. You can still try again and you will get it. And I've heard of persons, but these people who got their visas like within 20 hours safe,
I
they
see.
had scholarship. Like
Oh,
from Nigeria, yeah, from Nigeria, within 20 hours, 24 hours, they had scholarship. But we also have people too who are self-sponsored, and they also get the visa based on what I've been hearing and seeing on the group. Yeah. So it's possible, but it could just be stressful, and you
Yeah.
have to be determined not to give up.
Particularly with the whole legalization of like documents and
Okay, yeah, the legalization, you might be bounced back because you need to translate. Yeah, I forgot to mention that. There are just some things you need to take note for the legalization. You also have to translate your documents. So, but you shouldn't, if you get the legalization app, because I had to legalize my documents from Nigeria. I sent my documents from the UK to Nigeria to my brother to help me work on it. So I had to translate, and also I sent it to Abuja. A friend helped, he sent it back to Lagos. My brother helped me to like legalize that. And as God would have it, I think if you don't have any mistake on with the translation, you'll be good to go for the legalization. Yeah.
okay, so like the first one is like translation, then the second one is legalization.
No, you authenticate first at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Ministry of Education. Foreign Affairs for your birth certificate.
So you
Huh?
authenticate, translate, then legalize.
Exactly.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So like I know you said you're on a Nigerian group, so maybe you might not be able to answer this, but you might have like an insight. But
Okay.
like how long, like how long do you think the visa process, like the overall visa process takes from like
Do you
the
mean from the authentication, the
yeah, from the
legalization, or after that?
authentication, so from the authentication, like from the very first time you start the
Ah,
visa process?
you have to start. I know people who have started this since maybe May
Okay.
or so. Yeah, like the whole authentication. Although I did mine quite late, I only sent my documents around maybe early September because I wasn't sure if I was coming down or I wasn't coming down. But
Okay.
if you are sure that this is what you want, then you should start it as soon as you get your admission. And yeah, and you've done your pre-enrollment and all of that. Just you don't even need your pre-enrollment, I think, before you authenticate also, but you need your pre-enrollment for the legalization. Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
so you can start as soon as possible because most people would get their admission from around February. It was kind of late because I know someone that got his admission around, was in almost May or so. But immediately you get your admission confirmed, you should start the process as soon as possible.
Okay.
Yeah. And some people even get visa as early as June. I think I've heard of persons on the group, but there are still few people who have gotten their visas as of now.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
Mm.
what about like when you are done with like all the like when you are done with legalization and all and like you submit it to the embassy, do you have an idea of like how long it takes?
On the website, they said now that it's like 3 months, 90 days when I saw the documents. So, but I really don't think it takes up to 90 days.
Okay. So
Yeah. Maybe
give
like
90
a
days.
month max,
Okay.
I would say, but it might not even really take up to a month.
Okay. Good.
Yeah.
And you also have to pay for visa fee, right?
Yes,
So
you
like how
have to
much
pay
is
for
it?
visa fee. I'm sure it's not up to 100 euros.
Okay.
It's not up to 100 euros. I think it's like 68 or 60 something euros thereabouts. That's like, but I'm sure it should be the same value everywhere, irrespective of where you're applying from. You just have to convert to your local currency.
Okay, good. And
Mm.
like all these authentication, legalization, and translation, you pay for
Translation.
all of those.
Yes, you have to. I can't remember how much I spent on the authentication because they were just asking for money, then I'll just send
Yeah.
because I needed to get it done then. So, but I remember that they said you have to do it. Is it through Remita or something, the authentication, and it's per page for the authentication. Like, is it 300 or 3,000 or so, maybe 1,000 per page? But you don't spend a lot of money for the authentication. The
Okay.
legalization you spend, I don't know if they have increased it now, but at when I did mine, it was like 15,000, roughly 16,000. But I think it has increased to like
Naira.
21,000. Yeah, Naira.
I think
Yes,
you're talking of
in
euro.
Naira.
Hey, Jesus.
In
Okay.
Naira, yeah, it was like 15,000 plus roughly 16,000 then. And when you go for the legalization, you submit like maybe you submit on a Tuesday, you pick it up like on a Friday or
Okay.
so.
It
Something like
doesn't
that for the legalization. Yeah. So, and I think if you don't bring your pre-enrollment for the legalization, you pay additional fee. I don't know how much that is, but the thing is, by the time you send the email, like saying there's a template that, oh, I want to, my name is so with passport number of this, I am looking for a date for legalization. They would send another email detailing everything you need to prepare for, like when you're coming.
Okay.
Yeah. And even if you want to send someone to represent you, they'll tell you how you're supposed to do that, everything in the email.
Okay. And for the translation, do you also pay for translation as well?
Yeah, you pay for translation. When I did mine, it was around 3,000 per page.
Okay.
Yes, so and I had like seven, yeah,
Go ahead.
I had like 7 pages for birth certificates. My transcript was like 5 pages. Then yeah, I had 7 pages because I translated just my birth certificates, my degree certificates, and the transcript. So that was like 7 pages in total. So that's 3,000 times 7, 21,000 there. But I think the price has increased as of now. But there are different approved or recognized Italian consulates, recognized translators. The one that I used wasn't recognized, but it was approved. And I've seen persons who also got that approved. I was hearing like news this year that they're no longer accepting the ones other than what was posted on the website. I really don't know like the accurate information, but I heard something like that on the group. Yeah, but we have like some lists of approved translators, I think from the website, or you could even send them an email to ask. They should respond to you.
Okay, makes sense. And I know you said like when you're submitting the documents, you have to go with like accommodation and fare and flights. Okay.
Yeah.
Confirm that. What other question do I have? I already talked about how long the visa takes. And then once you get the visa, you just maybe you reserve your flights before you just pay for the flight and you come. Like you don't need to do any other thing once you get the visa.
Yeah, the thing is, when you reserve the flight, it most likely will get cancelled before your visa comes out.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So you have to like reserve another one, and maybe you could reserve something that is cheaper or like that is just suitable for you. And I think another thing you should note when you are reserving, especially when you are maybe a self-sponsored person, is whatever flight or hotel you are reserving, let it be something that is within your means. You won't say you are declaring maybe 10 million as proof of fund and your flight is already taking like 5 million. Doesn't
Yeah.
make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I understand that. Okay, thank you so much. I don't know if I have any question again. Okay, I think the question I have is for the legalization. So for the
All right.
legalization, you go to Abuja, you drop your document on
No,
when
not in Abuja. You authenticate first in Abuja.
oh, you
Yeah.
authenticate in Abuja, then you translate.
Yeah. You can, anybody can translate for you
Okay.
because I even before I sent my documents, I was already working at the translation. I just had the person contact and I sent it to
Okay.
the organization in soft copy,
Okay.
right? So, and they get it delivered, or maybe you pick it up yourself.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the authentication, so you drop, then you go pick it up yourself. They can't send it to you. Like,
No, yeah. The authentication gets done, I think, in a day,
okay,
that
okay,
same day. Why the legalization is you drop at the Italian embassy
okay,
and you pick it up
okay, okay,
like maybe 3 days afterwards.
okay. Then the legalization is also in Abuja, right?
Yes, that was when I mentioned that it depends on where you have schooled or where you have lived.
Okay, so that one is either done
Yeah.
in Lagos or Abuja.
Or Abuja, exactly. I did mine in Lagos. My brother went to Lagos because I was in Kwara and I've lived in Southwest for
Yeah,
like all my life. Yeah.
okay, that makes sense. Then you now submit your document. Okay, so they sent it to you, so you were able to submit your own in the UK. Okay.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. That was
Yeah.
really helpful.
Welcome.
Hopefully, my subscribers are able to like gain more insights from this. And
I
I would say
hope
if
you.
you have any question, like I said earlier, she's a YouTuber and she talks, I think, mainly about studying in Italy. I know you also talk about other countries, but I think
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So if you have any question, like I said, I'm going to pop a channel on the screen. So just go there and ask her. I know normally like I'm like, ask me in the comment section, but now we have a YouTuber. So go there and ask her. And yeah,
Thank you.
if you watch this video to this particular part, just put it in the comment section and be like, oh, thank you so much, Comfort. And yeah. brings me to the end of the video. Do you understand what language do they speak in Italy? Italian, right?
The Italian language, yeah.
Do you understand Italian language? Do you speak
To
it?
some extent.
Okay, bye to my subscriber in Italian. How will I say it now? Am I going to say in Italy or in Italian?
In Italian, yeah,
Okay,
Italian.
bye to my
Yeah.
subscribers in Italian.
Okay, bye-bye is in informal form is ciao, or
Oh
you
yeah,
could
I
say
think I will do that as
arrivederci.
well.
Yeah.
Ciao. Okay,
Ciao,
bye.
ciao.
Let me stop.